Hey guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today I want to share with you some of my most anticipated middle grade releases for the last quarter of 2022. Okay, so these are going to be some of the books that I am most looking forward to that are coming out in October, November, and December of 2022. These are for the middle grade age group of books. I have shared previously this week my adult/YA most anticipated releases, so I will link that video down below for you to go check out if you are interested in that. And this video, we're going to be talking middle grade books. So I have 9 books to share with you today. So let's just kind of jump right into it. The first book that I have that I want to share with you comes out on October 4th, and this is Fly by Allison Hughes. This follows a 14-year-old boy who has cerebral palsy, who is very obsessed with all things knighthood and things like knight in shining armor, King Arthur, that sort of thing. And when the girl that he has a crush on, some things start happening to her that aren't that great, he feels the obligation upon himself to defend her and to come to her rescue. And so it is just all about that. And yeah, it's in verse, which I am always a sucker for a book in verse. So this one definitely piqued my interest and looks like it will be really good. And it comes out on October 4th. The next book comes out on October 18th. This is Beneath the Wild Silk Sky by Emily Inoue Huey. I think that's how you pronounce the name. This is a historical fiction book that really centers around the climate in the country towards the Japanese population during World War II, specifically in Washington State, and follows a young girl who has a passion for photography. And as you know, kind of anti-Japanese sentiments start ramping up in her city, she feels the need to speak out against it. I believe she is of Japanese descent as well. And so yeah, it's about that and the potential of having to go to an internment camp and things along those lines. And so I don't know if it's necessarily about the internment camp aspect, but more the community and how they treated the Japanese population. But either way, that just sounded like something that would really appealed to me, and so I thought that that would be a good one to check out. That comes out on October 18th. Another one that comes out on October 18th that sounds really fun is Frizzy. This is by Claribel A. Ortega and is illustrated by Rose Busamra. We're going to go with that. But this is a graphic novel about a young girl who decides to stop straightening her hair and embrace her natural curl and frizz and all of it. And that is something that I can relate to as someone who straightened my hair for many, many years. And so, yeah, it just sounded like something that would be fun to check out. I am always down for a curly girl story. And so that was one that I obviously had to add to my list. One that comes out on October 25th is Show Us Who You Are by Elle McNicol. This is an author that I previously read and loved. She is the author of A Kind of Spark, which I love. She writes middle grade about always centering around neurodiverse characters. And so in this book, we're following 2 friends, one who is autistic and one who has ADHD, and they just really depend on each other. And then something happens and one of them ends up in a coma. And so as the other one is sitting there waiting for her friend to come out of a coma, the hospital or somebody at the hospital approaches her and asks if she would like to talk to her friend via hologram. And when she does this, she realizes that something's not quite right. And so she starts digging into the company who is producing these holograms and kind of learning that they're not really on the up and up. And so I don't really know what this one's going to entail. Some aspects of it, I'm a little like, I don't really understand, but I'm down for a neurodiverse story. And I really, really loved L. McNicol's previous work, and so I'm gonna dive into it and see what it's like. So yeah, that one comes out on October 25th. All right, and then on November 1st, a really fun book comes out. This is called Plotting the Stars 1. So it's a new series. The series is Plotting the Stars. The title of this specific book is Moon Garden. This is by Michelle Berry, and this is a sci-fi secret garden retelling. It follows our main character, Myra, who many years ago humanity fled Earth, and she now on their new in their new habitat, wherever that may be, is in school and is just not developing the right knowledge and the right abilities like everyone else is, and just feels very out of place. And then one day finds a lab full of plants that have been deemed dangerous, and she kind of goes in there and learns they're not really that dangerous, and maybe her talents are with the plants and not with everybody, like what everybody else is doing. And it just sounds really fun. I love middle grade sci-fi. I love secret garden retellings, and so this is kind of right up my alley, and I'm so excited to read it and check it out. All right. And then on November 8th, a fun contemporary middle grade comes out. This is Daisy Woodworm Changes the World by Melissa Hart. This follows our main character, Daisy, who is given the assignment to do something to change the world. And she decides that she is going to help her older brother, who has Down syndrome and is very interested in fashion, become the YouTube star that he has always wanted to be, despite the fact that her parents have forbidden him from being on social media at all. And so she kind of has to go behind her parents' back and do some things. And I think that this is going to be a very interesting book on obeying parents, but yet having your own autonomy and your own being able to decide for yourself, also with having the disability rep in there. And I think it just has a lot of elements to it that really pique my interest, and so I'm excited to check it out. And that one comes out on November 8th. All right, next on November 15th, Vicious is My Middle Name by Kevin Dunn is being released. This is another contemporary book about a girl who moves, I believe from New York, maybe LA, to a small town in North Carolina, and she is very different from anyone in her small town. She's very punk, very into protests and that sort of thing, and the other kids at her school are not. And then she finds out that an asphalt company is wanting to build a plant right next to the school. And so her and a couple of her friends that she has found decide to start amping up and protesting that. And it's just kind of about that. And it sounds really interesting. I'm always down for a kind of city girl meets rural life or vice versa. And so I think that this is going to be a really interesting book that explores that. All right. And then next on December 2nd, The Book of Wondrous Possibilities by Deborah Abella comes out. This sounds like so much fun. It's a middle grade fantasy about a young boy who is living with his uncle above a bookshop, and they own the bookshop, and so he helps out in the bookshop. And then one day a girl runs into the bookshop and asks him to help hide her from a murderer. And he's like, "What?" And so he helps her, and then his life is changed forever. He finds out that there are portals between different worlds, and all of these fantastical things start happening to him. And it sounds like so much fun. So that is just kind of one. I love that aspect of just living your everyday life, and then crazy things start happening. And I think it's just going to be a really, really fun one that comes out on December 2nd. All right, and then the last one that I want to share with you today is a continuation of a series that I have been thoroughly enjoying, and that is the graphic novel adaptations of the Babysitter's Club series. The 13th one comes out on December 27th, and it is titled Marianne's Bad Luck Mystery. This follows Marianne, who does not continue a chain letter. If you were raised in the olden days, like me, chain letters were a big deal, and she does not continue one, and then she just has bad luck over and over and over again, and she has to figure out what's going on and how to make it stop. And so it'll be fun. I have thoroughly enjoyed all of the Babysitters Club adaptations, the graphic novel adaptations, and I think this one is going to be just as wonderful. So, yeah, those are the 9 books that I am the most excited about, middle grade books, that are coming out in October, November, and December of 2022. I would love to hear what books you are looking forward to that are coming out in these last 3 months of the year. And that's going to do it for today. All of these books will be linked down below, so make sure you go check them out. Put in pre-orders or add them to your wish lists or add them to your Goodreads lists, however you make your book lists. That's where you can find the links to the books. And yeah, that's going to do it for today. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you stick around and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.